Hey everybody, it's Joanne Drodge here, and I'm with my dear friend Sara Long. And Sara was actually how we met. She's a personal trainer, a mobile personal trainer who was excellent. I used her services for a while, and she became my client. She was employed, had a business as a mobile personal trainer, and so we were friends, and then she became a client and bought some critical illness insurance. And I think you're going to speak about that.
Yeah, so I thought that the critical illness was a great idea as an entrepreneur. It made sense to me because I was looking for something to have to is insurance for my health, but it's hard to get that. And so critical illness made sense. However, because I was super healthy, I was young, and a lot of things in my life just weren't working, and I was looking to cut costs. And so that just seemed like the thing to cut because it didn't seem like I would need it. In spite of knowing that it was a good idea, it didn't make sense at the time given my situation. And so I canceled it for all those reasons. And then I kind of continued on my life. I still practiced a very healthy lifestyle, and I just didn't think that a disease or a critical illness was something that would ever happen to me. And probably about, we're not really sure exactly, but it was probably about 6 to 9 months after I canceled it that I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. And my life came crashing down because I was young and I wasn't prepared for something like that. And I didn't have the finances. I didn't have anything in place for a critical illness, unfortunately. And that's when things got really, really bad. So I unfortunately I didn't I tried to do natural cancer treatments, and I went through my entire savings to do that. And then finally I realized that that wasn't the best route for me, so I ended up doing treatment. So treatment was a whole nother ballgame because not only did I spend my entire life savings on trying to do natural stuff, but then I couldn't work anymore because chemo sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do the chemo stuff, and just financially, it was it made treatment a lot more stressful than it probably would have been had I kept the insurance, because then I would have had the money there to help me get through everything. And so I ended up going through treatment, and treatment in and of itself is a nightmare, financially, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. But after all of that, what they don't tell you, what you don't really realize, is that just because treatment stops, there's a whole another ball game trying to recover from it all, and that takes money as well. And so then I've had a really hard time getting back up from everything. And so what I'm trying to do now, I'm not a personal trainer anymore, but I'm trying to create a better system than the only way that we're given. We're only given one way to do things. If you got cancer, then you do treatment, you do chemotherapy, you do surgery, you do radiation, and that's it. And then guess what? You have to pick yourself up after that. And they don't tell you how. They don't give you any resources on how to do that. And so what I'm doing now is I'm creating a place and the other systems and other resources so that you can get back up the right way, and in a way that they don't let you know about, kind of thing. And I think that what Joanne's offering and what this critical illness can do for people is so necessary. I think it is part of the missing piece to all the pieces that we don't have. I think it is a huge, it can be such a game changer for people that didn't actually get something like I got. But I think that it can also it would have made my journey a lot easier in so many ways, because not only would I be able to get back up a lot faster from everything, but it would have saved myself a lot of stress. I might have done things a lot different than what I had to do because I had no other option. And I just think that it's really important to understand that if we're like, regardless of what we're talking about, if we're talking about cancer, the cancer is a problem. It's one and one. We're not invincible. It doesn't matter how much you invest into yourself. into self-care. It doesn't matter how young you think you are, or how healthy you think you are, or how rich you think you are. You're not invincible. And in having something like critical illness to fall back on is just important to me now as it is to having a phone or to having any kind of insurance. I just think that this is something that can really help anybody, regardless of your circumstances or who you are. And yeah,
It's
what
powerful.
else?
Well, it's powerful stuff because when I met you, I mean, you were younger, in phenomenal shape. You know, nutrition was important to you. You had it going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it would be very easy. And of course, a lot of people, a lot of younger people, it's hard to wrap your mind around the fact that you could get cancer or you could have a car accident that would leave you paralyzed, which
Yep.
is also covered under critical illness. And you know, there were so many reasons for you to believe that it would never happen to you because you were the picture of health. And, you know, the purpose of this video is to let people know that there is insurance. There's so many different types of insurance that will put cash in your hands when, you know, you have a really bad situation happen where the doctor gives you a diagnosis that comes out of the blue and you never saw it coming, or you have an accident or an injury, whatever the case may be. You know, my question to you today is, how do you want it to look knowing now that there's insurance available to you? As Sara has said, it doesn't matter where you come from, you know, what your background is, how young or how old you are, life can happen. And I just want to thank you because Sara and I unknowingly, Facebook did something weird and we were not friends for almost a year while she was going through this nightmare of fighting for her life. And when we did come back together as friends and I realized that she had this diagnosis of cancer, I was devastated because the first thing I thought of is, what could I have done differently? What could I have said to her to convince her to keep the coverage? But you see, she was adamant. She had the mindset that, you know what, I don't see the value in this at this moment in time. I got everything, I got it going on, everything's going good. I'm not going to need this. And it was devastating for me to see that this had happened to her and that $100,000 critical illness insurance could have made all the difference in the world. But to her credit, because of her journey, something wonderful has come out of it. And she has a project that you'll be soon hearing about because there are many different ways to recover from a diagnosis of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants people to know eventually, coming up soon in the future, you know, what that looks like, right? If you're not keen on doing the chemotherapy, if you're going to do the natural way, or you want to do a bit of both, there's just so many options. So thank you for watching this, and please reach out to me with any questions you may have about critical illness. I'm happy to help you in any way that I can. Thank you so much,
Awesome.
Sara.
Thank
Love
you.
you.
Love you
Thank
too.
you.